Hello and welcome to this video on markets. Some prices like oil are very volatile. They go up and down a lot very quickly. And you might stop and think, what factors influence the price of oil? You might also think about the price of flowers, perhaps in the run up to a Mother's Day celebration. Why does the price of flowers rise so much before Mother's Day? You might also think about the price of taxi drivers and why can sometimes their prices be quite high and sometimes their prices not so high. Well, in this video, we're going to look at what affects price through the concepts of demand and supply. So let's start off by thinking about our Mother's Day scenario and flowers, in this example, tulips. So here we have the supply curves from the tulip producers, and this shows us the relationship between the price of tulips and how many tulips they would choose to produce. And as the price gets higher, they would choose to produce more. Now let's add onto the same chart our demand curve. And this is that represents the consumers of tulips. Again, how many they would like to buy at any particular given price. And we can see that as the price falls, people would choose to buy more tulips. Now what we can see here is the two meet where the price is £5 and the quantity of tulips is 10,000. So at this price here at £5, the amount of tulips that the producers wish to sell is 10,000 and the amount of tulips that people wish to buy is 10,000. So our market here is very stable at a price of £5. And we would describe this as being, or as calling the market as having cleared. We say the market has cleared when all products are sold and no products are left over. And this happens here in this market at a price of £5. So we describe this as the equilibrium point. The market is in balance, demand and supply are equal. And we describe £5 here as being the market clearing price. It's the price in the market at which demand and supply are equal. So let's make some notes on this, and then when we're ready, let's move on. So what might be factors that might actually change the situation here? And the situation will change if there's a shift in demand or supply. But as we've seen earlier, these are all factors that might affect or shift the level of demand. So let's have a look again at our tulip example. And we're going to imagine now that actually in the run-up to Mother's Day, the price of daffodils falls. And if the price of daffodils falls, the demand for daffodils is going to go up, which means the demand for tulips, or other type of flower, is going to go down. So what impact might this have on the tulip market? Well, if the demand for tulips goes down because people are buying daffodils instead, we're going to see a shift left in our demand curve. Now let's look at what's happening at the price of £5. Well, actually at the price of £5, the amount that people want to buy is only 6,000. So at £5, people now only want to buy 6,000. But at a price of £5, tulip producers want to supply 10,000. So our market is no longer in equilibrium at this price. It's not in balance. The supply here far outweighs the demand. So the current price of £5, the demand would be 6 and the supply would be 10. And we describe the situation as being excess supply. At a price of £5, there is way more tulips being produced than people want to buy. Now, what would we expect to happen in that situation? We would expect the price to fall. If there are 4,000 more bunches in the market than people want to buy, then we'd expect actually the price of tulips to fall to the point where more people want to buy them and there's less incentive for producers to sell them. So this pressure in the market would continue until we reach this point here at £4. The price fell to £4 and we'd reach a new equilibrium here where the amount people want to buy is 8,000 and the amount people want to sell is 8,000. And again, our market is in equilibrium and we expect the price there to stay at £4. So again, let's make some notes on this. The concept of excess supply, which forces prices to fall. and then when we're ready, we'll move on. Okay, let's now imagine a different scenario. Mother's Day is approaching, and as a result, there's an increase in demand for tulips. So in this scenario, demand would shift to the right. Now again, at a price of £5, this creates an issue in our market, because now at a price of £5, with there being more demand, people would want to buy 14,000, but suppliers would only want to produce at £5 10,000. So in this situation, we have what's known as excess demand. At £5, there is a shortage of 4,000 bunches. People want to buy 14,000, but there's only 10,000. In this situation, again, we'd expect market forces to raise the price. We'd expect the price here to change. And if we're short, if there's excess demand, we'd expect the price to rise. And we would expect it to do so until, again, demand and supply are in equilibrium. So here, at the price of £6, the amount people want to buy at the new level of demand is 12,000, and the amount people want to sell at the new level of demand is 12,000. So again, our market is in balance, is in equilibrium, and a stable price should remain at £6. Again, let's take down some notes on this, sketch a little diagram, and we're ready, move on. So we talked about demand. In the past, we've also talked about factors that will shift the supply curve. So let's have a look at how changes in the supply curve might affect market price. So let's imagine the government of the Netherlands has given tulip growers a subsidy, and this would shift the supply curve to the right. And what we can see here is at a price of P, in fact, we would have excess supply, because at the price of P, under the new supply conditions, people would want to supply this much. But actually the level of demand would only be Q, so we would have excess supply. So what would happen in this situation? Well, we've got a level of supply that exceeds demand, we would have a surplus, and as a result, we would expect the price to fall to P1 and the quantity of Q1 to be bought and sold in the market. Let's have a look at a different scenario. This year there have been very bad floods in the Netherlands, destroyed several crops and reduced the supply. So what impact would this have? Well, this would be a reduction in supply. Now, at a market price of P, we have the situation where only this much can be supplied and this much Q is being demanded. So here we have a situation of excess demand. What would we expect to happen? Well, we would expect the price to move towards a new equilibrium at P2 or P1 here. So the price should rise to P1 and the quantity bought and sold in the market will both be the same. Q1, our market again is in equilibrium, it's stable. So in this video we looked at the effect of changes in demand and supply on the equilibrium price and quantity. So to summarize, what we describe here is the market force being at work. Market forces are always pushing prices towards the market equilibrium, the price at which demand equals supplies, the market clearing price, and there are no products left over. Too much supply leads to lower prices, too much demand leads to higher prices. And where demand is equal to supply, we have a market price that is in equilibrium. There is no pressure for that price to change. So prices tend to converge on the equilibrium price, PE, in this diagram here.